Hello again, everybody. How are you? Haven't seen you for so long. I wonder how you're coping in this new lockdown. You know, I'm finding lockdown is really boring. We can't go anywhere, we can't do what we want to do, but it's also scary. We can't see the virus, but we know it's making people poorly. And it's really hard. It's hard not being able to see our friends and go out and play and go to school. It's boring, it's scary, it's hard. And we know that's true all around the world. It's true for everyone actually at the moment, not just us. Life is boring so much of the time. Life is also scary, and life's really tough. And we've just had enough of it, haven't we? Well, I came across this lovely poem written by children from the Holy Land, the part of the world where Jesus lived when he was on the earth. And I think it shows us all these things. It shows us that life is sometimes a bit boring, especially at the moment. Life is scary, especially at the moment. And life is tough. And I wonder if you can hear those themes as we listen to this poem.
I miss being with my best friend, and I miss her. I hope so.
The playgrounds are asking about us. There are no classes, no schools, no churches, no guests, no visitors, no parks, no friends, no peace of mind. Empty and sad streets. Ramadan came and we could not go to the mosques. The outside world is silent. I'm afraid that my family and friends will get sick. I'm scared it will get to my grandparents' house and their door will be open. Before, I would say to everyone, I want to be alone, but today, I want to be next to you. I miss sharing the fun times, and that makes me sad. I miss being with my best friend. I miss her hugs. I grew tired of reading the same books. Oh, how I miss my freedom, the freedom to be a child, to just run and play. Time is becoming timeless. Seconds, minutes, months are flying. I want it to stop. We are afraid, yet we are fearless. We've looked in our hearts, and kindness we found. Thank you for your time, for your work, for your strength, and for your love. I am happy to have more time with my mum. I draw pictures, I play, and do homework. We've had social distancing picnics, social distancing walks, social distancing hugs, and social distancing talks. The planet is taking a break and shows us its charms. Animals come and go from the shadows. Our wildlife grows like us. I dream of a day where masks aren't needed. I'll go to the park to skate. I'll play football outside or dance in the street with no shame. The fog and the darkness, they won't win. The sun is waiting, dreaming, smiling. All this will pass, we will be fine. We will see you soon. Join me, give me your hand, and let's face this, because together we are stronger.
You see, we're not the only ones who find life a bit boring, a bit scary, and a bit tough at the moment. There are others, and we need to remember them and to pray for them. And some of them don't enjoy some of the lovely things that we enjoy, that we have in our lives. But we need to remember more than anything that God has promised to be with us through every time of our life, every part of our life, the boring times, the scary times, and the hard times too. And in fact, in the Bible, the promise is right there. It's all over the Bible, in fact, especially when God speaks to Isaiah, one of the prophets of the Old Testament. And he writes this part of the Bible, God speaking to him when he says, "When you go through deep waters, I will be with you," says God. "When you go through rivers of difficulty, you will not drown. When you walk through the fire of oppression, you will not be burned up. The flames will not consume you. For I am the Lord your God, the Holy One of Israel, your Saviour." That's from Isaiah chapter 43. And it's just great news. It's great that even though we can't see God, He's with us. He's promised He'll be with us. Now, it's true, we can't see him, but there's lots we can't see. We can't see the wind, we can't see the love that we have for our friends and our families, but they're all real, and we know God is, and that God is always with us. You know, when my children were young, we'd often go walking down the road and we'd hold hands together, so I would hang on to them and they would hang on to me. But I'd often wonder as a dad, what would happen if one of them let go of my hand and ran into the traffic? They would get terribly hurt. It would be awful. But then I remembered that not only were they holding on to my hand, but I was holding on to their hand. And my hand was strong and firm and wasn't going to let go of their hand, even if their hand would let go of mine. That I had them. And I could be trusted to hold them safe, even if they let go of me. And I think that's a great story because God is holding on to us. Even when we find life just a bit too boring or a bit too scary or a bit too hard, God never leaves us. He's never going to leave us. He's got this situation and he's got you. And so as this next song says, we can worship him, even if we're not in church, or even if we're not in school, even if we're stuck at home. Worship is more about the songs that we sing. It's about trusting that God has got our lives in his hands, even when we're bored or scared or find life hard. Don't ever forget that God's not forgotten you, and he never will.